Hello, my name is Rachel. I am a knitter and crocheter from southeastern Michigan, where I live with my husband and our 4 cats. And this is episode 2 of my knitting podcast, vlogcast, whatever you want to call it. So it has been a little over a week, I think like 8 days or something since my last podcast episode. Today is January the 6th of 2024, and I am ready to make my follow-up video and talk about what I've been working on, what goals I am meeting and not meeting, and goals that have been modified since my last podcast. So my goal for the very end of December, so for December the 31st, by midnight, so by the new year, the start of 2024, was to finish my husband's sweater that I have been working on for over a year. I did finish the knitting on it. It is currently upstairs on the blocking mat. And the raglan seams have been sewn together, the neckline was knit, and I cast off the last stitch at exactly midnight on New Year's Eve, so I met that goal by the skin of its teeth. Like, I just barely finished that right on time. And it was so funny to like sit there, and I looked at my watch and I was like, oh my god. As I cast off that last stitch. Now, I'm going to count it as a finished object, even though I have not finished the seaming yet, because it's done. The knitting is complete. I just have to seam up the sides and the sleeves. And I am never, that's a lie, because I do have a whip that is a seamed sweater. Never making another seamed object again. You can just let me die. I'll die before I do it. So let's talk about my goals for January. Now, my goals that I had written down for the last episode for this month is to finish both baby works in progress that I have that are gifts for my friend, for her baby that they'll be welcoming in April, to finish one personal work in progress, which I personally think that I am on track to do by the end of this month, to not buy any more yarn or patterns and or cast on any new whips for this month, and I have amended that until I finish at least one project, because there is something that I have a goal for that has a deadline that I need to cast on, and to bring out one graveyard whip from the graveyard to finish it. Have not done that yet. Will do that sometime soon, hopefully. So now let's move on to, I'm just going to show my current works in progress, so things that I'm currently working on or have worked on this week. And I'm going to actually start off with one that I didn't work on this week, but is one of my top priority whips for this month. And that is this one, which I did not show last week, which is why I am bringing it out to show you. And this is baby knit, obviously. If it weren't, it'd be for a cat. And this is the good old raglan by Twisted Knitwear, and the progress that I have made on this in the last last week is none. This is all I have left to do, which is this sleeve and to weave in the ends. It is just this little raglan sweater and I made it out of these gorgeous, cute, adorable little cotton yarns from, I think they're Bernat, and it is a baby yarn. And this is in a 0 to 3 month size. So this was a cute little sweater to work on. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I think for the second sleeve, I might try to do magic loop. I know I probably shouldn't, and it does bring me to one of my acquisitions. So one of the main issues I had with the first sleeve is that I lost one of my 4mm double pointed needles. So I was trying to work it with only 4 needles, so like in like a triangle type deal. And so I did go out today to my local yarn shop and I purchased these. So if we're attempting magic loop is TBD. I'm not sure if we're gonna do that yet. We might still. It's a toss-up. But I did buy these just so I have them. And then my second work in progress, which I've made progress. I was already nearly done with the body on the, oop, my needle is caught, hang on. Oh no. Alright, there we go. I was already nearly done with the body on the Anna's Summer cardigan, which I showed last week. I am on the ribbing right now. I just have one more row and then to cast off for this ribbing, and the body on this will be finished. As soon as I finish this, I'm going to work on the sleeve for that baby sweater, and I think I'm gonna get a couple of stitches in on this right now. I have been knitting up a storm this last week. Not necessarily on this. Like I said, I was already nearly done with the body, so I really only had a few rows that I worked on this in the last week. And it flew by. Obviously it's really small. It is a very small gauge. I did go and purchase this needle as well because it's a 3mm, and I did not have a long enough 3mm, and there was no way that I was gonna do this on double pointed. That just was not gonna happen. It's not in the round. So I did buy this in a 40-inch, and it is one of those square, the Addie like square ones. It's a fixed one. So I purchased this in case I want to do magic loop for the sleeves on this one. I might do magic loop for these sleeves, or at least attempt it. Like I said, I think I tried it once when I like first started knitting, and I was so new that I didn't realize how long of a cable that you needed to have in order to accomplish magic loop. So it didn't quite work out the way that it should have, because I didn't have any clue what I was doing. So yes, this so close to being done with the body. And then I just have the little sleeves and the buttons, the button band. I don't know if it's called a button band or it might be called something else because it doesn't go all the way around. And this is all the yarn that I have left for this, so we're really hoping that this is enough because I bought 4 balls of this to do the t-shirt. I'll insert a photo. I talked about it last week and I showed it off as a finished object. It's been finished for a little bit. I do still have to like weave in the ends and sew the little holes in the underarms still. That's all I have to do on that one. But yeah, really hoping that there is enough yarn. It's so small, I'm guessing that there should be. You never know. Especially me. I especially never have any clue. what is going to work out and what is not. And now I'm going to show you what I have been working on like a fiend. So this is my Stay Up Till Dawn sweater, and let me grab it. Last week I was still working on the raglan increases, and since then I split for sleeves. I did about, I think, 4 centimeters, so I did till the first body decrease, and then I picked up one of the sleeves, the first sleeve. Now, I've seen a lot of people do this, and I'm gonna guess that it really helps with second sleeve syndrome, which is something that I completely suffer from. I hate doing the second sleeve on anything, like Exhibit A. This one I think is understandable because it's so little and the double pointed needles kind of hurt my hands, so I'm gonna use that as my excuse here for why this one's not been finished. And we're gonna go put it back and pretend that we're not delaying the sleeve as much as possible. But I only have a few more centimeters on this. I'm really hoping that I don't need to break into another ball for the sleeve, but I might, because it eats it up so fast once it gets down to this. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough, and I'm really hoping that I'm not gonna have to add another ball during the ribbing, because that would be annoying. I don't think I have to do as much ribbing as the neck because it's a double folded collar, but I don't know. I would have to read the pattern. But yes, I only have a few centimeters left on the sleeve until it is time to do the ribbing and the decreases. And again, I think I'm gonna try magic loop for the cuff because I don't have any big double pointed needles. And so we're really putting our faith in my ability to figure out magic loop, and I'm not sure if that's such a good idea, but we're gonna try it anyway. This thing is just, I can't wait to wear it. So it's just been flying, especially because it has finally gotten cold here in Michigan. It was like 60 degrees on Christmas Day, and that is pretty much unheard of. It is never that warm on Christmas Day. You're lucky if you're not driving through a snowstorm to your family events on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day here in Michigan, which we did last year, and the roads were an absolute disaster because there was a huge storm, and it was like the first big storm of the year, and everything was ice on Christmas Eve last year. So we've got this. It's so much. This yarn is so soft. It's so nice. I love the color. I think it's gonna look so good on me. And it's just gonna be beautiful. This, by the way, what I'm wearing, I did not make this. This is just a store-bought cardigan from before I even started knitting, but I do want to make one like this where it's like the baggy, and one of my favorite things to do is wear it with like a dress or a sweater and do like one or the bottom 2 buttons and like pull it back and like let it drape in the back. That's one of my favorite ways to wear this, and I would love to knit something like this. I think it might be a fisherman's rib though, and I don't know or half fisherman's. Definitely not a full fisherman's, like looking at the inside versus the outside. I think it is definitely a half fisherman's rib. I don't know if I have the strength to make another half fisherman's rib item of clothing, but if anyone knows a pattern like this, please let me know because I would love to make it. So that is what I have for my works in progress. I'm gonna fold this up and set it to the side. I've got my my body ball, my working ball for the body tucked inside. I'm gonna tuck that back in because it was about to fall out. And I'm gonna set it here on the floor. Now I do have one yarn acquisition, and this was purchased before I made my first podcast. It was bought like the day, either on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas. And it is these Woolies Wow. I have now made 4 blankets out of this yarn. This will be my 5th one, and this is for my brother's girlfriend for her birthday, which is in March. I made my brothers, my 2 younger brothers, and my mom blankets for Christmas. I think I have a photo of at least one of them as a work in progress, which I can add right there. And every single one that I've made so far has been like a stockinette blanket. I don't know if I want to do a textured one or if I just want to keep with the stockinette because I know it works and I know that it's enough for a stockinette blanket. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that choice, but definitely going to be doing the, I want to say it's called like the Russian twist join, where you like put it on a needle and you like sew it and then join in the little loop that it creates with the second ball, because I hate weaving in ends and these are the biggest pain to weave in. That, or I'm just gonna do the magic knot where you like tie knots on both ends with the opposite ball and then like pull them together. We haven't decided. That's what I did with one, and we might do it with another one. So I do get that, these needles as well. Like I said, I went and picked these up today. They're a set of 4mm double pointed needles from my local little yarn store. Now, this one is not the most local to me, but it is the one that has hours that I can actually go to, because there's literally a little yarn shop that I guess is owned by like an 80-year-old woman right around the corner from my house. And it is only open like 11 to 4, 3 or 4 days a week while I'm at work. So I can't exactly go to this yarn shop. I wish that I could, because it is literally within walking distance of my house. It is, I mean, like, it's pretty much at the end of my street, and I turn left and walk 2 houses down and it's right there. And I wish I could go to it, but I can't. So, I've got one more actual knitting acquisition, and then I'm gonna get into some no, that's a lie. I have 2 more. While I was at the yarn shop today, I spotted this and thought it was so cute. And also I am terrible at reading my gauge with a regular tape measure. I don't know why. It confuses my eyes. I just cannot manage it. So this is a little gauge and needle measuring tool, and it does also have a little like yarn slicer right there as well. It's absolutely adorable. It looks like it comes in pink or this lilac, and of course I had to get the lilac because purple is my favorite color, if you can't tell. And it's cute. I couldn't resist, and I don't have like a gauge measure tool, so perfect. This is my last knitting acquisition. You did see one of the needles attached to my Stay Up Till Dawn sweater. These are the Addy Click shorts. I don't have any short circular needles, so this is my third set of circular needles. I have a set of Knitter's Pride Gingers in a 5-inch, they're 5-inch circulars, and a set of Lique Cypras, the copper ones, which are so pretty and I love them, and they're also in the 5-inch size. This is my first set of shorties. So these are the, I think they're like 3¼ inch tips, and I use them, I used some of my Christmas money to purchase them, so I can use them for like small circumference things like hats, sleeves, all that good stuff. Baby knits. Yes, they're wonderful. I may need to get more Addy Clicks in the future, most certainly. Now, the next things are, excuse me, my nose is running. The next items are not knitting items, but they are knitting related because I got them to use while I knit. Now this first one is a book stand. I have been, sorry, one moment. I have been using my Kindle a lot, but I actually went out and bought a couple of physical books, which is what I'm going to show next. And I was like, I need this for while I'm knitting so that I can read and knit at the same time. So it's just a little stand. You adjust, there's 2 legs that you can adjust here. However, whatever angle you need them. I'm pretty sure you can do this one like, would need to be a little less than this, but like that. And then you can just stand it and put your book on here, and it holds it open, and you can turn the pages and adjust as needed, obviously. Amazing, wonderful, masterpiece. It's like 20 bucks on Amazon. And I can link it down below if you want me to. It's certainly not the prettiest one, but definitely one of the more functional ones that they had. Yes. So, my next 2 acquisitions are 2 books. So this is also the kind of what I've been reading. And then I'll also talk about what I've been playing, because I do also love to game. So this one is the first book that I have actually kind of broken into a little bit. I've read only a few pages. I think I'm on like the 2nd chapter. I've only read 10 pages. Maybe I'm not on the 2nd chapter. This is These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan. It is the 2nd book in the series. I don't remember what the first one is called. These Hollow Vows, that's what it is. It says right there on the back. So I was over at Barnes & Noble last weekend and picked this up. I listened to the first one on audiobook from Libby from my local library. I was able to check it out. I don't think they had the audiobook version, and I didn't feel like purchasing the audiobook. Yeah. And then next one is also, again, a 2nd book in the series. It is Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco. I'm definitely saying that wrong, and I'm very sorry. This is a book. It's part of a series. The first one is Kingdom of the Wicked, and again, I listened to the audiobook, checked out from my local library on Libby, and I decided to buy the physical copy of the 2nd book. I can't remember if they had the 2nd one available or not. And now I'm going to talk about an audiobook that I've been listening to. So, it's part of a series. It is the 5th book. It finally came out on Google Play Books for audiobook version, or even any version. They didn't even have the ebook available on Google. I use Google for all of my audiobooks and everything because I do own an Android phone. I'm not an iPhone user, sorry y'all. But I'm filming this in 4K, so what do you have to complain about? Nothing. So the series is called, I believe, An Heir Comes to Rise, and it is so good. I believe it's by a Scottish author, I want to say. I've seen her TikToks, and that's how I found it, was through her TikToks, from like Book Talk and stuff. And it is such a good series. This may be controversial to say. I personally think that it is better than A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I did read I read the first one. I listened to the rest of them on audiobooks from Libby. Because I was like, I can't knit and read at the same time. This was like when I was first learning to knit, and I have ADHD, so it's hard for me to do just one thing at a time. I have to always be doing multiple things, and it's very annoying to me, but if I don't do more than one thing at a time, I just kind of sit frozen or stare at my phone and get sucked into the endless loop of just TikTok scrolling, doom scroll on, TikTok, Instagram, wherever I land. Lost my train of thought. So I love this series. It's about a girl in a world ruled by the Fae, and it's an amazing journey. And she has these talents she shouldn't have, and blah blah blah, and eventually you find out why. And I don't know if you can find out why she has them from reading the summaries, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to spoil it for you, and you do have to wait till like the 2nd or 3rd book to even find out why that she has these abilities. So yeah, not going to spoil that for you. And now for the last thing, is what I've been playing, and that is going to be Pokemon Violet. So it's taken me forever to finish this game. I know it's been out for, I want to say, over a year now, and that's because I've always had knitting projects that I have had a self-imposed deadline for, and it's always felt like I can't do anything. So it's nice to be able to like sit down and play this. I've beat the Elite Four. I've purchased the DLC, but I'm trying to finish up a few of the like last minute things that I didn't complete previously before I did those, before I go into the DLC to go ahead and do that portion of the game. And I've been playing it quite a bit recently, several hours over the last few days, and I'm really enjoying it. And I have been using a new controller that my husband bought me for Christmas. It is a controller with it's a rechargeable one with all of the evolutions on it, and finding rechargeable controllers is really difficult. I think the one he bought me is not a Nintendo brand one, because like this is the Nintendo kind that you can find, and they're battery powered and they don't last at all. They're not rechargeable unless of course you buy like rechargeable batteries, which I don't. So that's one of my other controllers that I have for my Switch, which is the Animal Crossing Switch. So anyway, I made it through about half a row on this while I was chatting with you. And I'm starting to lose my voice, so I think it's about time that I say goodbye for this week, and I will see you next week. Please like, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear about what you're working on, and I would love to see some new subscribers. So, bye-bye.